Hey everybody, it's Kary Oberbrunner. Great to be with you. Listen, it is Friday afternoon and I am absolutely excited to be talking to you about audiobooks. We have done something incredibly special for you. In fact, on Wednesday, we did a special audiobook seminar that was absolutely free, and we went into all kinds of details about audiobooks and how they are literally becoming the fastest growing publishing platform on planet Earth. This means that more people are reading audiobooks, in fact, listening to audiobooks, than ebooks, than hardcovers, than soft covers. Absolutely. So let's have people jump in and go ahead. Can you guys see us? Can you guys see us and hear us? Yep, there's a lot of people. All right, here we go. Here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to bring in some specialists for you today. So I would love if you can tag a friend, if you can share this feed. We're going to have a big party today all about audiobooks. We're going to teach you how to do them, why you should do them, and essentially some insider Q&A. So after you've shared this, go ahead, type in the word shared. I want to honor you and thank you. We have April who says, I sold 43 more audiobooks than my paperback. Leah, fantastic individual, a soul on fire. Always love to hear from her. She says, hello. Mackenzie says, I can see you. We have Lori. We have Yvette. We have lots of people jumping in and people saying, hey, where are you from? Chelly has been tagged. We're going to have a party here today. So listen, audiobook production technicians are hard to find. They're skilled. And sometimes they charge a high fee. Sometimes they don't. But I have two of them here today, and they are going to be speaking for free on all kinds of Q&A and questions. So these are Dave Samuel. I'm going to introduce him, and Scott. And Scott, we're going to bring you on too. So we're going to have a little party here today. Hi guys, how you doing?
Hey Kary, good to see you, man. Hey Scott.
Hello, how you doing?
Good.
Awesome, awesome. Well, you guys look good. Hey Scott, do you mind tilting your camera down a second, a little bit? That's better. That's better.
Okay, there we go.
We got you. You got the same haircut as me. I love it. Awesome. So listen, Dave, you saw the seminar that we did the other day on audiobooks.
Right.
Do you agree that they're growing, and why do you think they're growing so fast?
Oh, absolutely. People are wanting on-demand content. And you know, while you can carry a book with you, you can carry so many more audiobooks with you. I know, we just got back from a trip, and instead of packing a ton of books, we had a bunch of books that we were looking at and listening to. So it's the way to go. It's what people want right now.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, commuting,
exercising. Yep.
Exercising, mowing the lawn. I mean, I have a lawn where it's takes a tractor, and I'll tell you what, I actually like doing it because it gives me audiobook time. I love it. So, Scott, did you hear the training the other day, my friend, as well?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. And listen, you have a beautiful studio behind you. Dave has one as well. I know that stuff isn't cheap, and yet you have a passion to help authors get their content out. In fact, your wife is an author, and so is Dave's.
Mm-hmm.
Why was it important for April to get her audiobook out?
Well, it opened up a whole new universe to her when she did that. First of all, just in the simple dollar sense of things, she actually has sold a lot more audiobooks now than she actually sold regular books. And so things are picking up that way. And there's also opportunities through the companies that, through ACX to get some extra kickbacks, some of the programs that they've got, and those have already worked for her. She's had some success with that and gained some, a little bit extra income that way with her book.
Yeah, we talked about that the other day, the bounty programs. I mean, where can you sell a physical book and make $75? You can't.
Right.
But you can sell an audiobook, and when people opt into that free trial, as long as they stay 61 days, which is just really 2 months, you're good and you made 75 bucks. So I would love for people to jump in and ask questions today, because now's your chance to ask anything related to audiobooks. Erica's managing the comments as well. And Dave, let's talk for a moment about some common mistakes. When you see people that try to do an audiobook at home, let's say they say, hey, I'm not that skilled. What's some common mistakes that people make?
Well, the biggest common mistake, I think, is just trying to use, the selection of microphone, the selection of location. Let's just talk about location.
Yeah.
Getting into a big room that they start talking, and when you play it back, it's just all sorts of echo that's very difficult to hear. The other thing would be just a microphone. They may just want to use the microphone that's on their computer, or something, a less expensive microphone that's really going to sound that way. So there are things that you can do that are not quite as expensive as you think, to really make it sound professional and make it sound the way that people are going to be wanting to hear it. Podcasts, when you listen to podcasts, there's a lot of ambience, there's a lot of things in the background. But when you listen to an audiobook, it needs to sound like it needs to sound professional, very much like a radio broadcast, which I edited for 20 years. So
fantastic. Listen, I love this question that Mackenzie asked. So Mackenzie says, what can I do to increase my audiobook sales when I am unable to use ACX due to a conflict of interest? I'll tell you what, Mackenzie, this is where I love marketing. What I would do is I would say, you know what? Come out with an audiobook launch party, an audiobook launch party. And you might say, Kary, that is crazy. It is. And that's why you should do it. But that's what I did with all of my books. All of my books, I had a separate audiobook launch party, because it's a different product. You guys remember back in the day when we used to have DVDs, and they would come out with the Blu-ray edition, or they would come out with the director's cut. In other words, movie producers, they come out with all different versions. Shawshank Redemption came out with the 10th anniversary, the 20th anniversary. So I would say, Mackenzie, if you have not created an event around your audiobook launch, you're missing out. I would absolutely run it. And if you're an Author Academy Elite student, we have all kinds of templates for you. And I'll put some links. I'll shoot some links to Erica when Scott's talking about some of the audiobook parties that I had. And you're welcome to copy and see what I did and use some of those strategies. Scott, what do you think? By the way, Leah says, great idea. Thank you, Leah. I feel validated now. But let's go to Scott. Scott, what is a common mistake that you see if people say, well, I want to do an audiobook, and then they try? What do you think is one?
Okay, well, I'm going to jump just back a little bit and say the very first thing is a lot of people don't believe that they can do their own audiobook.
Wow.
And I think that's something that I really like to focus on. And when I first meet people, I do an initial assessment with people. And a lot of times I kind of try to get a feel for what their confidence level is on this. And most of them have decided to do the audiobook, but a lot of them are, maybe they are a little bit shy, or they're worried, hey, this isn't going to work out. And I say, you will be surprised that if you're working with somebody who knows how to work with the audio files and develop them later, with a little bit of coaching, a little bit of help. And I know Dave's got a great program that he has that helps you set all that up and get going. But with a little bit of help, you will be surprised, and you are going to save money. I mean, there is nothing wrong with using a narrator, but this is your book. You know your book. You know where the emotions hit. You know where things are going to be. And I really believe, and I've seen this, that people really do a great job on their book. Once they get past that learning curve and it starts to flow, they get into that, and suddenly it's just really rocking. There's that, and I agree with everything that Dave said also. Preparation. Learn what you're doing. There's a lot of different ways to prepare. There are certain things that you need to do in your home. There are things that Dave and I and other audio people, we can hear that you might not be able to hear. And I've seen this time and time again. I'll say, is there an air conditioning on in the back of your room?
Sure.
And because I'll pick out, you know, with my software, I can actually see it on the, I can see the low hum stuff on the WAV files.
Interesting.
But I can hear it too. And I listen to it in a variety of situations. I even take the files out and listen to them in my car. Because where are these people going to listen to the files, you know?
That's great.
So
that's great.
Prepare, look at Dave's stuff, because his has got some really great advice. Pay attention to it. And then I think Dave's probably the same as me. We're also here to give you a little bit of the personal touch.
Right.
I'm here to answer questions. I want it to go good for you. I found a great deal of personal joy when April's book came out. It was like, yes. And you know what? They accepted it, and it was so exciting. And I thought, well, it wouldn't be great if we could share and do this with a lot of people.
Yep.
So
I love it.
It's not as hard as you think. I guess that's the thing.
Absolutely.
That's good. So I want to share with you folks something powerful, because I just found it. So I might have to, I'm going to hide Scott just for a second, because I'm going to bring up my desktop. And Dave, I'm going to hide you too for a moment. But this, I think you guys are going to dig this. Okay. I hope this works. I'm going to share my audiobook. I hope this works. Yes. Can you see this? Hold on. All right. Scott, give me a thumbs up if you can see this. Can you see my little Facebook thingy? Okay. Now, folks, Erica's going to share this. I was amazed when I just saw this, because I forgot we even did this. This is February. When did we do this thing? I think it was February. 42 shares, 14,000 views, 16,000 people reached, and a lot of audiobooks sold. In other words, what did I call it? Your secret name, audiobook launch party. So folks, I'm a firm believer of what I'm teaching you, that, you know what? You need to celebrate your audiobook. It's a big deal. If you don't, you're missing out. So Erica, if you can share that link, I'd love for people to be able to watch the recording, take ideas from the book launch. I don't know anyone who's ever done an audiobook launch party before, but I'm like, yeah, it took work. Let's do it. And again, events drive energy. Events drive energy. So we're going to share how you can find out more about Scott and Dave. And there's a lot more questions we're going to get to too. So Erica, if you can do that, I sent you the Slack message with the URL, I believe. If you can do that, that'd be fantastic. And then we'll share. Yep, here she did it. There it is. So there's the link. You guys can copy that later and watch it. But that's literally an audiobook launch party. And I think you'll be able to check it out. All right. Here we go, guys. We got some more questions.
Okay.
Dave, if we don't have all of the equipment, where can we go to do the audio ourselves? So I think Erica's going to share a link in a moment that gives 3 options. But what they can...
Well, the first thing they can do is it's pretty inexpensive to buy what you need. I mean, inexpensive, we're talking a couple $100, which, you know, may be a stretch for some, but it is a small investment to get the equipment to be able to do it themselves. If she's talking about going to another studio, then you'd have to do some research in your area to find what's available, or you can, you know, contact Scott or me and we can work out something as far as that goes. But each one of those increases in the price, where, you know, starting out by buying the equipment yourself and then finding a studio in your area might be a little more, and then, you know, having one of us come out and do that. So I'm not quite sure the the exact way she's wanting that, but that's kind of the basic idea.
Cool. And there is a link. It's I believe it's well, listen, I'm a publisher, so we got asked this question so many times. We ended up creating a page for it just to help people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's karyoberbrunner.com/audiobook production. And when they go there, they'll basically see three options. They'll see one option is to record it themselves. And Dave, I know a couple $100 might be a stretch for some people. So I even put a link on Amazon, and maybe you think this is junk, and it might be, but it's a $21 microphone, and I recorded it at my house. But part of the reason I was successful is because of that course you teach called what? Five
ridiculously simple steps to record your audiobook at home. It's a long title, but it says it all right there. So.
Yeah. So if someone's like, hey, I got kids, so do I.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody says, hey, I got a heater at my house, so do I. So I recorded this at my house, usually in the morning when the kids were still sleeping, and Callie as well, or at night when they were in bed, just because the house was then quiet. Or I came to my office here and did it. But I personally had a TV monitor. So folks, I'm getting real specific for you. But I didn't want to read like this, and have the mic at my forehead. So I just looked at the monitor and just read it. And your course was fantastic. But some people do get their files rejected because they don't know about the hum. So Scott, tell us what that middle step is, where you and Dave both master files, because the worst thing in the world is to do this at your house and then submit it and they say rejected. So what does mastering the files even mean, and why do we need to do that?
Okay, well, first of all, I will tell you that you can actually go right to acx.com and look and just type into Google ACX audio requirements. And it will tell you exactly what is required for them to accept your audio. But yeah, it's a little bit of a mystery to people sometimes why they just can't turn it over and let somebody at ACX take care of it. And the reason is because most things that are recorded do have a lot of just outside noises, even things such as breaths and mouth clicks and plosives. Plosives are when you speak into the microphone and it makes a popping noise, and people don't really hear that as they're recording that.
Or shuffling, like if I'm on my keyboard, I don't know.
In our courses where we help people, we kind of go over some of these things where we talk about when you're reading your book. I highly recommend somebody grabs if they can, grab a iPad or another kind of a device, so they're not turning pages. You're turning pages, but that microphone is hearing everything that happens. And so if you're turning pages while you're reading, we can't take that page turn out of the audio. Also, speaking clearly into the microphones, we can't change the way you say something. If you say something, we can't change that. And so a lot of times we have to go in and edit. And I think Dave probably says the same thing that I do, is stay calm, stay unflustered. It's easy to get flustered as you're reading. If you make a mistake, simply stop, let it run for a second, and go back and repeat what you were saying from a logical point. We can fix that. That's the kind of stuff that we do. It's very easy for us to go in and just cut that out, bring it over and make it sound like it never happened if you make sure that you just stop and let it flow. That's kind of the big secret.
Even if you back up a few words to give yourselves multiple edit points, that's helpful too. Yeah,
well, that's all really desirous of us. So also, we take the levels. A lot of times when the authors send me stuff, the stuff is recorded at a very low volume. Okay. Sometimes it's hard for them to not record too loud. If they record too loud, it does something called clipping, and that's audio we simply can't use. Is once it clips, we can't use that audio. We can't really fix that. So I ask my authors to record a little bit lower. And then what I do is I bring the volume up exactly to where ACX requires it to be, which may mean something to some of you people. It's -3 dB. Okay. And they want an RMS level of -18 to -22. How are you going to really honestly leave that to us to do that? That's what we do, and we do it well. And also we have the software. It's expensive software, but we have the software that goes in and helps us do that and takes care of problems and cleans up the noise floor. The noise floor is everything. When I stop talking, it's everything you can hear in the room when I'm not talking.
And I'll tell you why this is important, because Audible, which is owned by Amazon, which is the 3rd largest search engine on planet Earth, you're going to put your audiobook on the largest store in the world. And what Amazon and Audible want to protect is their brand, their name. They don't say, well, hey, we're like YouTube where you can just put on video at any quality. There's a certain level that you have to be at, because these people are paying for the product, which is your audiobook. And if you don't have a certain level, they'll say your file is rejected. And last time I checked, everybody is worth money. Everybody's worth value. You guys are great. And as a result, your time is worth money. And so I don't want any authors saying, hey, I recorded 6 hours of audio. My audiobook's done. And then they go to upload it and submit it, and they get it rejected. That would be a big bummer. So, Dave, you got a question from Yvette, but again, there's no secrets here, folks. We're a publishing company, Author Academy Elite. We have 1,200 authors, and we want our authors to make the most income. I get 0 money from their audiobook sales. So this isn't like, hey, get your audiobook out so I can collect money from you. This is, hey, if you have a book out and it's not on audio, you are missing. In fact, Chris McClure told me this today. People have come up to him and said, your book's not on audio, so I haven't bought it yet. And he's like, that hurts. So, Dave, can you answer this question? Do you and Scott do editing?
Yeah, absolutely. That's I'm one of the weird people that actually like editing. I started analog cutting tape years ago, and then switched over to digital back at around the year 2000. So I've been editing for a number of years. I know Scott has too, and it's pretty easy to do given the right material. So that's the big thing.
Fantastic. All right. So folks, any other questions that you have? And again, the website where you can find out which level you want. I think we have you do it, we do it with you, or you get it done for you. And again, I think that if you don't want to be an audio production specialist, why learn the craft? It's like me. Could I go build a table? Yeah, it'd probably look horrible and take me years. So the point is, like, I don't want to build a table. So for me, I can earn more money doing my superpower. I'd rather have someone help me. And you can bootstrap this. Dave, I think your course is ridiculously cheap, where people can do it at their home.
Yeah, it's basic, and just to let people know they can do it themselves. I mean, this whole thing with Scott and with me, the course, it's really a full service thing where wherever you are in your technical ability, you can pull it off. We've got a number of Author Academy Elite authors that have recorded their audiobooks at home and have put them up on ACX and had great success. One author actually bought the course, recorded her book at home, and then had another client there in her hometown ask her to record theirs as well. So she used the same principles that she learned and turned around and made some money off of it and was able to do that. So it is possible, but I know everybody's not comfortable with that. And so then Scott and I can jump in and help where it's needed the most. And we're happy to do that.
And Anita's book, I mean, Anita's an award-winning author.
Mm-hmm.
She won first prize at the Author Academy Awards. She turned her book, My Father Said I Could, into an audiobook with ease. So again, it pays for itself.
Right.
And I encourage you to go to Amazon, pick out your favorite author, look how many paperback reviews they have, then go to Audible and look how many audio reviews they have. When I did that, I showed that yesterday. Do you remember that? Or on Wednesday? David Goggins has written the book, Can't Hurt Me. It has 3,000 reviews on paperback. And he's not my favorite author, but he's one that I've heard of recently. But on audio, he didn't have double. He didn't have 6,000. He didn't have triple. He had 71,000 reviews for audiobooks, for his audiobook. That's what I'm talking about. Terry asked the question, where can you find the mic? I'll tell you what. It's on karyoberbrunner.com/tools. That's the same mic that, I'm sure it's not the most expensive. It might even be the cheapest, but I know some people just need to get it going. Stop blaming well, someday. I'll tell you what, guys, I created 2 audiobooks in like 3 weeks because I said, that's one of my goals. It's been hanging over my head and I made it happen. So,
there's so many choices in microphones in various price ranges. So, there's a lot of things that you can find.
Yeah.
I wish I could share too. I wish I could show you. I've actually got a kit that it's this guy right here with the boom mic and with everything available on my Facebook and my webpage.
Sweet.
And it's set up through Sweetwater Sound. It's a good deal.
Yeah.
It is up in the $200 range, like Dave said, but you will get a great recording with a mic because you're not touching it all the time.
Right.
If you bring it into you, that's another big secret is don't hold the mic. That's pretty obvious, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I've got links on the recording audiobook recording course as well that has packages that you can do. So
fantastic.
A lot of options.
Yeah. Well, we talked the other day, folks, and we'll just go about 10 more minutes, but we talked the other day how the average person can do 2 years worth of college by listening to audiobooks just as they commute to their daily life. In other words, Brian Tracy and Zig Ziglar called it the Automobile University. And there's proof. In fact, Erica, I don't know if you can share the 90-minute teaching I gave yesterday for free Wednesday, where I basically gave statistics about a gentleman who learned French, German, Italian, and Japanese all by sitting in his car listening to audio while he was doing normal tasks. It's amazing, but we literally can grow ourselves even where in the past we thought, well, I'm just sitting on a subway. There's nothing I can do. I'll just waste time, or I'll play Candy Crush. Listen, nothing against the little phone games, but while you're playing phone games, I'm earning PhDs.
There you go.
Just being
like that.
Being real, okay? So, guys, I know that this has been fun. We just are starting to introduce you to the tribe because we've heard this groundswell of people saying we want more audiobooks. We want to turn our audiobooks. Let me ask you this. Maybe we'll close with this, and please pop in some more questions. In fact, people are saying that's good information. Great. Why do you do this, Dave? Like, in other words, I know there's the, hey, this is your background. Hey, it's fun. But how do you feel when you see someone's message go out to the world in ways it never could before? What does that do to you?
Right. Oh, it excites me because my passion is to come alongside those that are struggling with the technology and make their vision happen.
Mm.
And so when we can do that, and I know Scott feels the same way, if we can do that, it just excites us and it says, yeah, this is what we want to do. And it's service, it's customer service. And we just love doing that.
It's fantastic. Scott, what does it do for you?
I find personal joy in helping people. I mean, really seriously, the ones when they send me an email and say, "Hey, it's up," there's nothing as exciting to me in the world, and it makes my day incredibly awesome because I know that we together have accomplished something. But going to the Igniting Souls conference, and realizing that everybody in that room is either working on a book or has a book, I just realized that getting it up on Amazon is awesome, but it's not the whole process. There is so much more you can do with that. That is with you for the rest of your life. That's your book, and all the books you do, those are your books for the rest of your life.
That's right.
Why not make the absolute most out of them? I would love to help you. I think like Dave, we both have ways. I love spending time with people. I love doing the coaching and everything else. So please, if you have any questions, you're always welcome to contact me also.
Yep.
Well, Brenda said it. This is on my next best step list. I feel like I'm leaving money on the table. And truly, when people tell me, I had a guy hand me a book the other day, and I didn't know him well, so I took it. But I wanted to say to him, you know what, buddy? Keep the book because it's not on audio. And I don't have the time bandwidth as a father and a husband and leading a global business and all kinds of stuff. I would much rather hop on the bike or cycle and do the couple hours of cardio and do the cycling. I mean, I walk away from that, and that's like me time. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing better than cycling and an audiobook where it just literally restores me. And the cool thing is, guys, I'm not checking my phone. I'm not on social media. It's like just the open road and the audiobook. And I've gotten more inspiration and encouragement from that. So thank you so much. Kary's saying, what's Dave's last name? This is Dave Samuel, husband of the famous Kirsten Samuel, who's written many amazing books. And this is Scott. And Scott, you gotta say your last name because I know it's a little tricky.
Juke, which is the name of my business, Jukebox Sound. Easy to remember.
Scott Juke, and you are the husband of the amazing April Tribe Juke, who has a fantastic book. And that's what I love about this. Guys, you were on my radar for years. Dave, especially, I knew you for years. Scott, more recent, but we've been talking about this idea for a long time. And I told you, I said, we cannot even talk about it till after conference because I just knew I had to show up filled up at conference and there were so many details. But I said, listen, November 13th at the fellowship, we're going to talk about audiobooks. And then we just decided to do this follow-up encore chat because we believe that it's going to change people's lives, because the authors who are watching this, your book, even though you might not ever physically meet your reader, you'll be talking to them through audio for sometimes 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. And it's a great way. I shared this the other day. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. Where else can you whisper in some stranger's ear for 6 hours without getting arrested? But you get my point. You're sharing your message, and they're inviting you to. And many times I get business from people who say, I heard your audiobook, and now I want to join your coaching program, or now we want to hear you speak at our stage. So, Dave, I know we're directing people to one page on purpose, but it's karyoberbrunner.com/audio production. It's a new relationship that us three have to basically get authors out there with audiobooks. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome.
And I know we'll do this again. It sounds like a lot of people found it helpful. So we'll bring you guys onto an Author Academy Elite call. How cool would that be? Let's bring you guys onto a call. I think I gave you a date. What date did I give you? Was it Tuesday?
It's Tuesday, yeah. This coming Tuesday.
Okay, so if you're an Author Academy Elite student, we're going to bring Dave and Scott on at the beginning of the call on Tuesday to answer more detailed, and you can actually speak with them, audiobook questions. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, Kary. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Kary.
Thank you, and thanks so much, Tribe. We'll see you later.
Dave.
Bye-bye.
Take care. We'll see you guys.